Dublin, Ireland's political turmoil deepened on Friday, pushing the minority government in Dublin toward collapse just weeks before it is set to play a central role in negotiations over Britain's planned departure from the European Union. The government of Prime Minister Leo Varadkar is able to remain in power in Ireland only with the support of the main opposition party that, on Friday, submitted a motion of no confidence in his deputy prime minister, part an enduring dispute over her role in a policing scandal. The move has consequences on two interwoven fronts. First, it could lead to a snap election. And second, an election campaign would probably affect a European Union summit meeting in Brussels in mid-December, adding a further imponderable to the halting diplomacy over Brexit, as Britain's withdrawal from the bloc is known. The summit meeting is supposed to determine whether Britain has satisfied the other European Union members that negotiations have made sufficient progress to initiate parallel bargaining on a trade deal between London and the 27 remaining countries in the bloc. One of the main issues holding up the process is the future status of the frontier between Ireland, which will remain a European Union member, and Northern Ireland, which is part of Britain, at which there are currently no border or customs checkpoints. Northern Ireland is facing a political crisis of its own after its rival politicians failed to resolve their differences and end the paralysis of a power-sharing administration that has kept the peace in the region for almost 2 decades. Mr. Varadkar, who was due to play a significant role in the European Summit meeting in December, is determined to avoid a return to a so-called hard frontier that would damage economies on both sides and raise questions about the future of peace in Northern Ireland. In Dublin, the parties seemed deadlocked on Friday. Michael Martin, the leader of the opposition Fianna Fáil, said an election can be avoided if Mr. Varadkar fired his deputy, Francis Fitzgerald. Opposition leaders have questioned Ms. Fitzgerald's role in a previous government that they accuse of failing to shield a whistleblower who exposed police corruption. Ms. Fitzgerald could defuse the crisis herself by resigning. But she has shown no sign she will do so, and Mr. Varadkar's Fine Gael party has defended her strongly so far. Michael Darcy, a finance minister, said Ms. Fitzgerald cannot resign and should not resign. He told the news agency Reuters that a withdrawal of the no-confidence motion was the only way to defuse the crisis. The motion is set to be debated by the Parliament in Dublin on Tuesday, possibly precipitating a snap election. I think we're heading for an election before Christmas, Mr. Darcy said. An election campaign could influence how Mr. Varadkar approaches the summit meeting in December and whether he is seen by other European leaders as a weakened figure with few prospects of political survival. Some analysts suggested that he might use the meeting to drum up political support at home among Ireland's anti-Brexit voters by adopting a tough line against Britain. The Irish Foreign Minister, Simon Coveney, said his country does not need an election at this stage when there are some really serious issues for the government to manage in the national interest.